Probably will be for a long time, and I'm so stoked. Like I said, it's still, I can't even believe it.
Now take a look at this. Where are you going to cash that, John? Does like Foodland Pupukea take that?
Yeah, a little ATM machine over there. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't even thought about the money yet. I'm just really stoked to have won this event.
And what does it do for your career? You were known as a guy that can really do the best against the hottest competition in contestable waves, but now you're known as a big wave surfer.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess growing up here on the North Shore, you're forced to surf these bigger waves sometimes, and then once you're invited to the eddy, you have to paddle out, even no matter how big it is. If it's on, it's on.
And how were your other competitors out there today? What was the feeling out there in the lineup?
Oh, it was a great energy. You know, it's all of our friends and heroes and everyone that we'd ever want to surf with in the water, and to be out there in that big of waves is pretty amazing.
All right, thanks, John. Now, John wasn't the only one out there tearing it up. It was a very, very close race with all these guys catching some of the waves that had the entire beach just howling. Yeah, they also had some incredible rides that I've never seen waves ridden this big, this consistency with such skill and such reckless abandon.
See that board absolutely flying under his...
And of course, joining me was Meleka Lincoln the whole day from this morning. It was unbelievable.
We saw such an incredible contest today. You know, we know what it takes to make an eddy happen, and that is consistent 20-foot Hawaiian scale waves. Of course, we're talking about a minimum of a 40-foot face. So huge, well, that's given, right? That comes with the territory. But just how massive was it today? Well, when we spoke with legendary surfers, Kelly Slater, Shane Dorian, they told us this is the absolute biggest they have ever surfed Waimea Bay.
Oh, it's gnarly. Pretty much like it looks, but 10 times gnarlier than it looks once you're out there in the water.
One by one, as surfers came out of the water after their first heat, it was the same story.
Well, this is it. You know, we were meant to have that sort of tease, you know, obviously, and man, what a day she's given us. It's awesome.
11-time World Surf League champion Kelly Slater says he was rocked.
I know it's radical out there. I couldn't figure it out. I mean, I surfed Waimea a million times, and I was feeling kind of lost out there because there were just sets that were, I don't know how big it was. It was really massive though on the big ones, but it's exciting.
Eddy's second place finisher in 2001, Shane Dorian, says conditions were everything everyone hoped for.
It's really difficult to forecast a proper swell for the Eddy Aikau. Waimea really truly needs something extraordinary on the map, a really giant crazy storm, and you know, this one really fits the criteria. It's giant, it's exciting, it's scary. You know, it's what everybody wants to see, so it's awesome.
In the mix, Eddy Aikau's 66-year-old little brother and contest champion from 1986, Clyde. In his same heat, the youngest competitor, 23-year-old John Florence. And several first-timers like Australia's Jamie Mitchell.
When I first paddled out, I had all like jelly arms. I was so nervous, and I think as soon as I got my first wave, everything flushed out of my system and I was good to go, you know.
The thrills were bigger than anyone could imagine.
This is going to be, I think, one of the better eddies they've ever had, just because the waves are, you know, on the edge of being too much.
As promised, the wipeouts were next level.
Surf is massive. It's huge. It's 20 to 25 feet plus. It's coming in, ledging up on the shelf and just pitching out really far and hard to catch for these guys. Just difficult, gnarly conditions.
And yet some of them made it look so easy. John Florence, of course, included in that. Now, despite the crazy size of the sets today, good news here to report. There were no serious injuries out there. That said, there was a couple run-ins. There were some broken boards and snapped leashes. But again, everyone gets to go home safely tonight. And that's due in part to Hawaiian Water Patrol and all of their efforts out there. The Aikau Ohana tells us that this is exactly the day that they hope for. And event organizers agree that it was a beautiful tribute for one of Hawaii's most beloved watermen. Reporting live here at Waimea Bay on the North Shore, Meleka Lincoln, Hawaii News Now.
We are all in the campus ministry, and we were at the Oahu Church of Christ, and we prayed about this, and we were like, please, we want this eddy to go.
Wow, those ladies, just some of the thousands of surf fans who camped out overnight just to secure a prime spot on the sand before dawn this morning.
Incredible. If you didn't get out to Waimea early, though, probably had to deal with a lot of traffic.
Oh yeah, snarled traffic backed up in both directions. Our Allison Blair continues our team coverage.
Traffic along Kgmb Highway has been a slow crawl since about 9 o'clock this morning. At that time, organizers estimated more than 15,000 people already at Waimea Bay. Long before sunup, an eager crowd hustled toward the shoreline, hopeful the eddy would go. At 7:30, the call was made and the first group of surfers took to the bay. Lifeguards kept a vigilant watch as monster sets rolled in dangerously close to the crowd. Many folks with a less than ideal view moved to higher ground.
We're only seeing, the top 20 foot of the wave.
Above, people packed onto the bluffs.
Flame on.
Mike Perkins claimed this coveted spot 24 hours in advance. He was here a couple weeks ago too and says he learned some valuable lessons during that trial run.
And the breakfast burritos are cooking. It's a cure-all for anything you might have done the night before.
For many spectators, it was about taking in the contest from several different vantage points, keeping officers busy as they worked to make sure the crowd was safe. HPD expects traffic to be heavy well after this contest is over. If you need to drive through this area, definitely keep your eyes on the road. There are a lot of pedestrians. Now, coming up all new tonight at 6, we'll show you even more of the most creative places people found to watch the eddy. At Waimea Bay, Allison Blair, Hawaii News Now.
Meanwhile, over on Kauai, crews searching for a 28-year-old man who was swept out to sea at Queen's Bath near Princeville today. We're told Mikola Grabaniuk from Chicago was taking photos along the rock at the tide pool when he was swept out by a large wave. Officials say waves in the area have reached up to 40 feet.
Oh, here we go! Over the wall! Here we go, run!
Meanwhile, check out the huge surf just crashing onto a North Shore homeowner's property. This is near Sharks Cove, and that's how active the ocean was early this morning. You can see the waves just narrowly missing those folks checking out this big swell. And that high surf warning we've been telling you about remains up as the energized swell peaks today.
Meteorologist Jennifer Robbins joining us with the latest on the surf outlook and tonight's forecast. Jen.
So we're going to see more wraparound energy as we head into tonight and tomorrow. You can see gradually declining, but the swell energy is still hanging on, and more to come over the weekend as well. On the North Shore, 25 to 35, biggest in the morning. On the West Shore, 20 to 25, and you can see that wraparound energy on east-facing shores, and also the South Shore, a little bump there. So places probably like Sandy Beach will see elevated surf. Well, we are seeing more surf on the way. I'll have more on that coming up soon.
Jen, thanks. Stay with Hawaii News Now for continuing coverage of the eddy and, of course, the high surf. On air, online, and on our mobile app. On social media, look for the hashtag HNNSurf. And if you're on the North Shore, send us your photos or videos.
We're following breaking news tonight from Kansas. That's where up to 4 people were killed and 20 others injured in an apparent workplace shooting. The gunman was later shot and killed by law enforcement officers. It happened at Excel Industries in Heston. We'll keep you up to date on this breaking news story as we get new information.
Time now for a check of traffic. Here's Danielle Tucker.
You're looking at Honolulu Freeway. That's eastbound traffic practically at a standstill. No accidents or stalled vehicle. There is one on the H3 Honolulu bound direction. Left lane inside the small tunnel is blocked. Fire department is working to clean up the fluid spill. Heading to the west side, we're just off the viaduct, almost. Honolulu Freeway slows by the gardens. From the City and County of Honolulu's Traffic Management Center, I'm Danielle Tucker with Crater 96.3 for Hawaii News Now. Back to Chris and Steph.
Thanks, Danielle. And heads up for drivers on the H1 starting at 8 tonight. 2 westbound lanes will be closed from the Pearl City off-ramp to the Waipahu off-ramp. And then at 8:45 p.m., 3 lanes will be closed.
Coming up, is it outlawing homelessness? A bill at the Capitol would create trespass laws in areas they frequent.
Plus, Big Island shooting investigation. Officers learn more about an attempted murder suspect's troubled past. The new details ahead.
Roadwork Alerts on KGMB is sponsored by First